Okay, Margaret, let's go ahead and take a look. We've got your magazine ad and your banner ads. That's fantastic. Okay, looking great. Let's start with the magazine ad. Just a couple of comments here. So we've got, I think the magazine ad looks great. I do. I think it's just got such a really nice flavor, just a really super Caribbean flavor to it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. There's a couple of comments I think that we can do to increase the harmony associated with the page. Okay, I'm still not sold on the texture in the type. I think it's a great technique, but I'm not real sure we need it. Right now, I think it's drawing a little too much attention to that area. And my recommendation is just to use one of the colors. Stick with the colors. So purple, maybe teal here, or white, and then white for the body copy. Or, not even pure white, but something maybe just a little off white so that it doesn't advance too much in the composition. Additionally, I don't think we need this color bar at the bottom. I think it creates too much separation. Now, in the one of these files you submitted, I went ahead and I removed that color bar, and I see that there's plenty of image to use in that area. So my recommendation is just to go ahead and like we see in the examples in the course announcements, just go ahead and place your logo and your contact information right on the image, and you don't have to use that yellow color bar. I think the contact information is a little bit large too, right? You can reduce the size of that. And again, take a look at those um, course examples those examples in the course announcements for some different ideas of how to configure your contact information. I mean, you could even span it right across the top, and that would be perfectly acceptable as well. Reserving the bottom of the ad for the logo. You're set in italic here, but don't forget it's Arial bold for the headline, Arial bold italic for the subhead, and then Arial regular for body copy. Okay, masked images look great, but the shadows are creeping down the wall, and that wouldn't happen, right? You would have a little shadow, assuming now the shadows themselves aren't following the light source either. Right now, the shadows are cast to the lower right of the coffee cups, indicating that the light source would be up here, but we can clearly see the light source over here. So those shadows should be cast this way, right? They should be cast this way, and they won't fall down the wall because the wall is obstructing the shadow. So I would mask that out. So just add a little shadow right there, and then mask the rest out. Okay, and I think that'll do it for the magazine ad. Let's go ahead and jump to the banner. Where is the banner? What the heck did I do with the banner? Oh, it's right in your body copy. Here it is right here. All right. I think the banner, again, looks great. Same thing. That we can see that now that we're zoomed in. We can really see those shadows. So definitely want to do that. And again, we've got that yellow bar. Don't need it. Relish your version. That's excellent. Everything here is great. Again, not really sold on the pattern for the background, that texture pattern for the background. That's the headline. This looks good too, but I would fade this in and fade it out because right now it's blinking in, right? So, and as we know from the style guide, I mean, Amethyst Bay is a relaxed atmosphere. It's not like a super party atmosphere like a spring break, but it's a relaxed atmosphere. And I think this kind of blinking in and out of the type doesn't really reflect that relaxed atmosphere as much as maybe fading this in and fading it out. Now, when you fade it, you don't ever want this to be completely invisible, because if the viewer looks at the banner at this point right now, I'll show you right now, they're going to miss the promotion. So my recommendation is to fade it in and then fade it out, not to complete transparency, keep it visible, then fade it back in, fade it out, and keep it on a loop like that. Other than that, I think it's fantastic. So you're doing a great job, and I'd like to see those changes reflected in your final submission. Um, if you want to run this by me again before your final submission, which is coming up in week 7, let me know. It's kind of like a final checkpoint. I'll be glad to make any additional comments. But I would like to see those recommendations reflected in your final submission. And again, that is coming up in week 7. Margaret. So time is of the essence. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Oh, I didn't talk about your writing. I do want to do that. So maybe more local culture. Got that. Excellent. I shot a couple of people who want something different. And I get that and I appreciate that. That's excellent planning. Just off the main beach is beautiful. celebrate as much as learn. And you know what? When my wife and I vacation, we do exactly this. We go off the main beaten path. Definitely, we don't go to the main touristy beaches. We try to get a little bit more local flavor, local culture, and I think that really is reflected very well in your work. Um, Talking about diagonals, and this is good because you're talking about elements and principles. You want to keep that in mind because we're going to ask you to expound on that in your uh, final part two, the written final for the course. Okay, that's good. All right, other than that, I think that fantastic. Great job. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. Thank you very much, Margaret.